I can tell you, having done this long enough, there's a lot of people on a carnivore diet that continue to see health improvements over even several years. And so it may be that you just continue to improve to where the symptoms are almost minimal to not noticeable. Perhaps, who knows? We'll have to see what happens there. As far as, I'd mentioned carnivore is unheard of in Japan. Are they pushing a plant-based diet? Are we having a lot of veganism creeping its way in Japan, or is that still pretty minimal as well?
Yeah, it's pretty minimal. So there are some places coming up with like plant-based burgers and all this kind of thing. But generally in Japan, because meat isn't demonized, they're not really pushing plant-based at all. Yeah, I can't see it taking off here because culturally, Japan really is all about what something tastes like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. They're not interested where it comes from, what kind of food it is, whatever. It's just, does it taste good or not?
Yeah, that's unfortunately that can be a formula for a lot of hyper palatable processed food, though. That's one of the things. Are you seeing a lot of that come in? The Japanese traditionally have been slender, slight people. There's not a lot of obesity. Are you seeing some of that starting to creep in?
Definitely. And just even in the 17 years I've been here, the increase in the number of overweight and obese people you see it's definitely gone up.
How hard was it to integrate into Japan? Are you speaking Japanese now? I know some people said they're fairly insular and they don't take to people from other cultures very easily. Is that what you found or no?
Yeah, Japan is quite insular. Like, it doesn't matter how long I lived here. It doesn't matter if I became a Japanese citizen or whatever. You would always be classed as an outsider. But, it's a great place to live. It's like anywhere. There's pros and cons of anywhere, right? But, I've stuck around because it's so good to live here. The life is really easy.
Yeah. Yeah. How's the, I guess since I have you here, and we always talk about carnivore stuff, but I don't talk about Japan. What do you like about Japan that maybe you didn't get in Australia or don't like?
I think really the thing I like most about Japan is just the convenience. Like you can get on a train and just go anywhere quickly. Whereas in Australia, you're always, if you want to catch a train, then you're going to be very late for wherever you're going, if you get there at all. Yeah, it's just convenience of living. It's the fact that everything is much smaller and closer together, so it's easy to get around. Shops are always open. It doesn't matter what time of the day or night you need something. There's always going to be something available for you, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so they're very efficient, I guess, is what you'd say. They're not, they've got everything dialed in, supposedly. As far as, you said you eat one meal a day. Are you focusing, I guess you kind of mentioned, you said eggs and ground beef, and I can't remember what else you had in there, but are you cognizant of how much protein, how much fat you eat? Do you steer towards a higher fat approach, or what do you do with that?
I don't measure or track any kind of percentages or anything like that. I just kind of put what I know is going to keep me full into the bowl, basically. So I'm probably, people I think tend to say like you should go 80-20 or something. I'm probably a bit higher on the protein than most people on carnivore, but it just seems to work. And not focusing too much on it. And I think one of the benefits of not focusing a lot on how much fat or protein I'm eating, it makes it so easy.
I guess it's more intuitive. If you feel like you want something fatty, you'll eat it. And then if you don't feel like that, you'll eat whatever else, and you let your body kind of dictate. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely.
What, I guess I should ask about seafood. Does that make it onto the diet much? Obviously a lot of people associate Japan with seafoods, particularly sushi and things like that. They're an island, obviously they're surrounded by it, but do you indulge in much seafood anymore, or did you used to?
I've never been all that big on seafood, but yeah, occasionally I'll have sashimi or something, but nothing. I don't go in for oysters and all of that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then, has your wife shifted her diet somewhat, or is she still just eating what she's always been eating?
No, she's just still on the same Same old, same old. So because of the hours I work, it kind of works out because I work late in the day. So we wouldn't be eating together anyway. So, it's kind of, it's worked out okay.
What is the pricing like? I mean, what are the prices like? I mean, I guess maybe you can convert them to, I guess, US dollars. I don't know, Bitcoin, I don't know, whatever your preferred currency is.
Just over a pound of ground beef cost me about $9.
Okay. So that's about double what it is in the US, something like that, I'd say.
If I wanted to have Wagyu for breakfast, like kind of sliced Wagyu, just over a pound of that is probably going to cost me about $30.
Mm-hmm. That's, and I mean, it's probably cheaper there than it is here to get for us to import it over. But, has that been, as far as like you're only eating once a day, you're probably overall, I don't know, has your overall budget gone up or down since you switched over?
Overall, it's gone down because you're not snacking all the time. You're not thinking, I'll just go out and buy this, this energy bar or whatever it is, so yeah.
Have you noticed some people will, they do carnivore diet for, 6 months a year, and then they'll start like, let me try this, experiment with this. Have you put foods back in to see, and then if so, was it a negative reaction or no issues, or what's going on, or have you even bothered to try any of those things?
I haven't bothered because it's just so easy, and it like the 1 meal a day on carnivore thing has just made everything so much better, just from an efficiency point of view as well.
Yeah, that's clear. Yeah, just cooking once, eating once, cleaning once it's definitely, compared to the normal person who might be consuming six separate meals and snacks and things like that, which is a lot more time intensive for sure.
Yeah.
So no temptation to start guzzling maple syrup or eating mounds of fruit and honey. I mean, there's some people that are advocating for that. That hasn't been something you've been interested in.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'd never I know that there's people talking about carnivore with, fruit and honey and stuff like that. I've never been a big fruit person anyway. Mm-hmm. So I probably wouldn't ever feel like I need to go down that route.
And as far as you said, you lost weight and you mentioned you're pre-diabetic. Have you had a chance to look at blood glucose again since you've started, or any thoughts on that?
I did part of my physical, I did my fasting blood glucose and all that kind of thing, and everything was normal.